welcome back to Sundays in the Garden. Hope everyone's well and everything is going well in your gardens and allotments this week. If you're new here, my name is Sarah and on this channel I share all of the things I'm getting up to in my English cottage style garden and allotment area in the UK. If you're new here, I would love you to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of the things I've got planned in the garden this year as the garden starts to come to life and the new growing season begins. We can share our journeys together. This week I'm sharing the top 8 things I'm doing in the garden in February. If you've got any jobs you're doing that I'm not doing, please let me know in the comments so we can all share our ideas and learn together. Next week I'll be sharing the seeds I'm sowing in February, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe if you haven't already so you can follow along with that. And without further ado, let's get started. My first job for February is to chit our early potatoes. My first early varieties this year are the Red Duke of York variety, and I got them from the Jameson brothers. And I've also got another set of first early Red Duke of York potatoes, which I'm giving away on my Instagram page. So if you'd like to be in with the chance of winning those, check out the link to my Instagram in the description. Then find yourself an egg box and pop the seed potatoes into the egg box with the side where the most eyes are on facing upwards. The eyes are the little dots that you can see here where the shoots of the plant will come from. So this is the side you want to be facing upwards towards the light. Then find a sunny windowsill and place them on there for 4 to 6 weeks, waiting for the shoots to appear, and they'll be ready for planting. My next job for February is to install a nest box. This is the time where our garden birds are starting to think about making a nest and laying some eggs. So if you haven't got a nest box in your garden and you'd like to install one, now is the perfect time. Ensure you install it high above the ground, away from any predators, and wait to see if any birds decide to make it their home. February is also a time we can be warming our seed beds ready for the growing season ahead, as well as protecting any tender plants we already have in the ground. To do this, I'm going to take some garden fleece and cover my tender crops. These are my broad beans. I'm folding the fleece over to create a double layer which will add some extra protection for them as the weather is due to get very cold. And then making sure I smooth it over and secure it down with some bricks so it doesn't blow away. This is something you can be doing if you've got any crops in the ground, or you can do this to warm your seed beds ready for the spring and get them off to a head start. Another job we can all be doing is to organise our seeds by their sowing date. This will help us stay on track and make sure we sow everything we want to month. So for example, I take out here my sweet pea seeds. I've already sown these ones, but I'm going to want to sow them again, so I've got some sequential sowings just in case any of the original ones don't work out too well. So I'll place those over here. These are some more seeds I want to sow in the next few weeks. And these seeds I'm not going to be sowing for a few months yet, so they need to go in a separate pile. I then take some time to organise the seeds by sowing date so that I can stay on track and make sure I sow everything I want to when I want to. These are ordered by the next 2 months, then we have some for the months after that, and these ones I'm not sure where I'm sowing yet, so they're in a separate area. And I feel much more organised and ready for the growing season ahead. Another job we can all be doing now is to install any lawn or border edging where we want to create distinctions between different growing areas in the garden. For example, in the middle section of our garden, I installed a brick garden border between the growing area and the lawn to create that nice, distinct and crisp edge, and so I could see where my planting area was. I did this last October, but I'm going to be installing another brick border on the left-hand side of our garden in the next few weeks. So if you would like to see how I went about installing this border, I've got a video earlier on in my channel for you to check out. But if you don't want to use brick, you could use some stones or gravel, or you can buy some lovely little fencing, anything to create distinction and so you can see the areas you've got and decide what you're going to grow in each areas. It's also the perfect time for those with allotments to create a distinction between your allotment growing beds and your pathways so you know exactly how much space you've got to work with during the growing season ahead. Let me know in the comments how you define your growing spaces. Finally, this month is our final chance to cut back any old growth before the new growing season begins again in earnest. Here is my Japanese meadow sweet, and as you can see, it is covered in seed heads and old growth, which needs cutting back. I'm going to cut this back by about a half, which will give it the best chance of a great growing season ahead. Now is also a great time to be cutting back your roses, any other climbers and perennial plants you have that need cutting back before the next growing season begins. I am already seeing the first shoots appearing on many of my plants, so I want to make sure that everything is cut back before they burst into life again. By doing this, it's giving our plants the best chance to grow and thrive in the new season ahead. What jobs are on your list for February? Let me know in the comments what you're getting up to this month, and we can all learn and grow together. And of course, don't forget to keep feeding those lovely garden birds. They're about to start building their nests, and they'll really appreciate that extra food for their growth and warmth. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great week ahead. Happy Sunday and happy gardening.